Our planet is in constant, silent motion, tectonic plates drifting atop molten mantle, shaping continents and oceans. When these plates suddenly release their pent-up energy, the result is a mega-earthquake, an event that can alter history in minutes. Today, we're counting down the top 10 mega-earthquakes that have shaken our world and changed countless lives. These seismic events have toppled cities, sent tsunamis across oceans, and tested human resilience. By exploring these monumental quakes, we gain insight into both the planet's dynamic geology and our own capacity to endure and rebuild. Join us as we journey through time and across the globe to witness the moments when the ground gave way. Our journey begins in Chile, where on May 22, 1960, the Earth unleashed the most powerful quake ever recorded, magnitude 9.5. The ground liquefied, swallowing buildings and reshaping the landscape along a 1,000-kilometer rupture zone. Valdivia was devastated, districts collapsed, coastlines sank, and the Pacific claimed new land. Survivors faced chaos, powerful aftershocks, and a world transformed in minutes. But the destruction didn't stop at Chile's coast. The quake triggered a massive tsunami, with waves over 25 meters, devastating Chilean villages and racing across the Pacific. Hours later, Hawaii, Japan, and even New Zealand felt its impact. The Valdivia earthquake was a global event, showing how catastrophe in one place can ripple worldwide. Thousands died, hundreds of thousands were left homeless, but the event also revolutionized seismology. Scientists gained invaluable data, refining plate tectonics theory and understanding megathrust quakes. Valdivia was a brutal lesson in the planet's power, and our need to learn from disaster. 4 years later, Alaska was rocked by a magnitude 9.2 quake, the second most powerful ever recorded. For 4.5 minutes the ground heaved, thrusting land up by 11 meters in places and creating ghost forest where saltwater killed trees. Anchorage suffered catastrophic damage, not just from shaking but from landslides that destroyed entire neighborhoods. Tsunamis followed, obliterating villages like Chenega and causing deaths as far as California. The timing, late on a holiday, kept the death toll lower than it could have been. This quake exposed vulnerabilities in construction and spurred the creation of the National Tsunami Warning Center. It was a stark reminder that even modern nations are at the mercy of the Earth's might. On December 26, 2004, a magnitude 9.1 quake ruptured beneath the Indian Ocean, shifting the seafloor and sending a tsunami racing across the region. The waves struck Aceh, Indonesia with almost no warning, 30 meters high, erasing entire communities. The tsunami swept across Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, and even reached Africa, killing nearly 230,000 people in 14 countries. The tragedy was worsened by the absence of a warning system. Millions had no chance to escape. The disaster triggered one of the largest humanitarian responses in history. In its wake, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System was established, a vital step in global preparedness. The 2004 tsunami was a horrific lesson in the interconnectedness of our world. It showed that nature's fury can cross borders in hours. Preparedness and early warning are our best defenses. The scars and the lessons remain. Japan, famed for its earthquake readiness, faced its greatest test on March 11, 2011. A magnitude 9.1 quake struck offshore, shaking skyscrapers in Tokyo but sparing most buildings thanks to strict codes. The real disaster came as a tsunami, amplified to 40 meters in some bays, overwhelming seawalls and surging 10 kilometers inland. Nearly 20,000 lives were lost, most to the waves. The tsunami triggered the Fukushima nuclear crisis, causing meltdowns and mass evacuations. The world watched as Japan battled a cascading catastrophe, earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster. The Tohoku event proved that even the best prepared nation can be overwhelmed by nature's chain reactions. It forced a global reckoning with nuclear safety and disaster planning. Japan's resilience and recovery efforts inspired the world. But the event remains a sobering reminder of nature's unpredictability. In 1952, the remote Kamchatka Peninsula was rocked by a magnitude 9.0 quake. The main destruction came from the tsunami, which obliterated Severokurilsk, killing over 2,300 people. Many residents, thinking the danger had passed, returned home, only to be caught by a second, larger wave. The tsunami radiated across the Pacific, damaging Hawaii and being recorded as far as Alaska and Chile. The Soviet Union kept details secret, so the full tragedy emerged only years later. Kamchatka's quake highlighted the vulnerability of coastal communities to distant tsunamis. It spurred the development of global tsunami warning systems. The legacy, even remote events can have worldwide consequences. In 1556, Shanxi, China, suffered the deadliest earthquake in history, an estimated magnitude 8.0. The quake struck the densely populated Wei River Valley, where many lived in cave dwellings carved into unstable Loess cliffs. When the shaking began, these homes collapsed, burying entire communities. Cities were destroyed and the landscape itself was reshaped. Historical records describe mountains moving and roads vanishing. The death toll, a staggering 830,000, including those lost to famine and disease afterward. The disaster showed that vulnerability, population density, building type, and timing can be deadlier than magnitude alone. Shanxi's tragedy remains a powerful lesson for earthquake-prone regions today. Preparedness and resilient construction save lives. Just 3 months after the 2004 tsunami, Sumatra was struck again, this time by a magnitude 8.6 quake. The islands of Nias and Simeulue bore the brunt, with over 80% of buildings in Gunung Sitoli destroyed. The quake uplifted the coastline by nearly 3 meters, exposing coral reefs and permanently altering the landscape. Over 1,300 people died, and aid was hampered by destroyed infrastructure. The event showed how one massive quake can trigger another, compounding disaster. For survivors, it was a relentless test of resilience. The lessened seismic hazards are complex and often come in waves. In 1965, the remote Rat Islands in Alaska were rocked by a magnitude 8.7 quake. The epicenter was far from population centers, so direct damage was minimal. The quake generated a tsunami that flooded Shemya Island and was observed as far as Hawaii and Japan. Scientists learned that tsunami size depends on more than just magnitude. Fault movement and seafloor shape matter too. The Rat Islands event completed a trilogy of giant mid-century quakes in the Aleutian Arc. It underscored the interconnectedness of the Ring of Fire's seismic systems. Even in remote places, Earth's power is on full display. On August 15, 1950, a magnitude 8.6 quake struck the Assam-Tibet border, shaking the Himalayas. Landslides blocked rivers, causing catastrophic floods and reshaping the landscape. The quake destroyed villages and monasteries on both sides of the border, with up to 3,000 lives lost. Political tensions and remoteness made assessing the damage difficult. The event highlighted the extreme vulnerability of Himalayan communities to both shaking and landslides. It remains the largest known quake caused by continental collision, not subduction. Assam-Tibet's quake is a warning. Immense seismic potential still lurks in the world's highest mountains. The 2010 Haiti earthquake, though only magnitude 7.0, became one of the century's worst humanitarian disasters. Striking just outside Port-au-Prince, the shallow quake caused violent shaking in a city with no enforced building codes. In a single minute, homes, schools, and hospitals collapsed. Over 1 million people were left homeless. The National Palace and UN headquarters fell, crippling the government and aid response. Death toll estimates range from 100,000 to over 300,000. The aftermath was catastrophic: blocked roads, destroyed infrastructure, and a deadly cholera outbreak. Haiti's tragedy showed that vulnerability, poverty, poor construction, lack of preparedness can make a moderate quake devastating. The world responded with massive aid, but recovery remains a struggle. The Haiti quake is a stark lesson. Disaster is shaped by more than magnitude. Building standards, governance, and readiness are critical. The resilience of the Haitian people endures. These 10 earthquakes reveal a profound truth. The ground beneath us is never truly still. Earthquakes are part of our planet's natural cycle, shaping continents and testing societies. Science and engineering have made us safer, but preparedness is key. Building codes, early warning systems, and public education save lives. The difference between catastrophe and survival lies in learning from the past. Stay informed, stay prepared, and respect the restless Earth.